Dylan. I'm still getting used to that. You know, like I said before about my name, it's been a big deal. I actually wrote out a list of things that I wanted to talk about because, you know, I'm generally bad at remembering everything I want to say. My first coming out experience was, well, actually, it was last year sometime, when I kind of hinted to my mom that maybe I liked girls too, and that there was something going on with me and another girl. But it ended up happening that as I was talking to her, she freaked out and was like, "What, you want to kill me? You know, like, what are you talking about? You're just making this shit up." Like, it was basically trying to convince me that I wasn't gay. And I ended up, like, giving into it. I ended up saying, "Mom, you know, I must have just been emotionally but not physically or attracted to her. I must have made a mistake. You know, I like guys," which it's still true that I do, but I kind of just left the other part out for a while with my mom. And over break after last year, after finals, and I went home for a couple weeks, I went to the gym with my mom. You know, it's something we've been doing for a bit, and I kind of helped her out, and we got out of there, and I needed to go buy something. So from like a GNC, it's called Max Muscle. I think it's a little better. So we went over there, and I picked out a couple things, and I was talking to the girl behind the counter about things and like building muscle and all that stuff. And my mom, in the parking lot, she kind of just turns to me, and like I could tell she's been bothered, and she's not been saying anything. She kind of stood in the corner while we were in the store. So she is kind of leaning on the car, like, "So do you want to be a guy?" And at this point, it was kind of something in my entire life. It's sort of like, yeah, well, that would have been nice, you know. But I just said, "Oh, no." And she said, "You and Kelly are in a relationship, aren't you?" And I just admitted to her, yeah. And that was not a good thing for her. She absolutely freaked out. Started crying, like, got in the car and slammed the door, and we ended up screaming at each other. And, like, I just, not even going into the conversation, that it somehow got into politics, which it always does. But she ended up using things like, "you people," like, "you freaks," you know, things like that. And basically told me that, like, it's wrong, like, it's a sin. It's a very religious thing for her. It's not natural, you know, things like that. Screaming at me and making me extremely uncomfortable. So, and another thing she said that was like, "Oh, we're just never going to tell your father because he can't handle this." And I was freaking out, and, like, I use that a lot because I think I was even worse than my mom at this point. Just crying hysterically. It's like, this is a part of who I am. How do you expect me to hide it from my own family, you know? You guys are supposed to be the people I go to when I can't go to anybody else, and if this is a big part of my life, and I have to hide it from you and pretend that it doesn't exist, that's going to be a problem. And I don't think she understood that at the point, and was really just not hearing me, and still treating me like I wasn't human. So I got out of the car, and I just kind of told her to go away. Like, if you're not going to be able to talk to me about it, if you're not going to be able to accept me, you know, you should go. I can't handle being in the same car with you. I can't handle going home right now. I just need some time alone. But she ended up driving around in circles and, like, in the parking lot of this. I'm from a very small town. Like, people notice things very easily. And just, I was crying, so I went into a pizza shop, sat down, you know, like, I told the lady, you know, "I'm going to just sit here, you know, I don't need anything, I just want to take a break." And then my mom came in and started screaming at me to get out, and I didn't want to embarrass either one of us, so I walked outside, but I told her I still wasn't going. So we didn't end up going home for hours. She kept driving around, like, she drove away somewhere for a little while and then came back, and like parked the car and got out and like walked over to me. And she sat down, and I was still arguing with her nonstop about it. Like, she doesn't understand how this could be such a big part of it. Like, why would we even want to talk about it? And she's trying to convince me that where did it come from? Like, you're not. And I think it just surprised her that this came from me, and it almost felt like she was losing her daughter a little bit. We couldn't talk about the same things we used to, which is totally a lie. Because if she wants to talk about dick, I'll talk about dick with her, because I still like guys.